Yeah, I'm Danny from Web Antler, here today with Cole from Neurospot. Cole, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? And we'll just run through a couple of questions around that experience of people expanding overseas as well.
So my name is Cole Armstrong, and I'm the Managing Director of Behavioural Strategy Agency Neurospot. And what that means in practice is that I work with organisations that are trying to, in some shape or form, influence the behaviour of their users, of their customers, of their suppliers, of their employees, which is basically everyone, because the only way we succeed as a business and as an organisation is in terms of how we influence people to do something differently. So I come in and I bring a very psychological lens, a very scientific lens to behaviour change, which then opens up a whole raft of opportunities, which often, when you highlight them, sometimes these ideas can be quite intuitive, but other times they're kind of the things that people maybe miss, and that opens up a whole other raft of opportunities.
Cool. So in terms of what we're talking about today, it's really around companies that are wanting to expand or launch into other markets. So in that context, with people that you've dealt with in the past or dealing with at the moment, what had they wished they had known before expanding or launching overseas?
I mean, I think it's kind of what we were talking about before this call. Basically, humans are humans, and the way that humans make decisions, it doesn't change from one country to another. But the thing you've got to understand is that when you're moving from a New Zealand market, where maybe you've got higher levels of brand awareness, mental and physical availability for your brand, that's one thing. When you're moving outside, that's a whole other kettle of fish, because actually you've got you can't rely on that mental availability, that brand awareness, which kind of got you to the top of people's minds, that triggered a purchase response, just might not exist in an overseas market. So in many ways, you're almost going back to square one and saying you're a completely new novice brand. You've got this blank sheet of paper in the minds of consumers. So somehow you need to bridge that gap from having very small, very minimal brand awareness to actually building up a brand and a physical availability that results in somebody choosing to buy your product, as opposed to the many other competitors you're going to be competing against.
Definitely. Then, from your experience, what are the local resources, I suppose, what you can find here, not seem to cover for those companies?
I mean, look, I think there'll be people who have much more to say on this topic than I do, but I think the biggest thing is there are really smart, knowledgeable people here in New Zealand, and so you've actually, part of the thing is just literally knowing to reach out to them and actually ask lots of questions. But you also can't get past that sort of local knowledge in terms of, because they can understand maybe the journey, the path to purchase. What are the triggers that are getting people to purchase, and what are the maybe the local peculiarities which might not be obvious sitting here in your office in Auckland or Wellington or Christchurch. So in many ways, it's trying to find that local knowledge and local awareness, because once you've got that, then you can start to build out some amazing touch points, some amazing marketing strategies. You can build out some fantastic plans, but it's built around that person at the other end and in that other country that you're trying to enter.
What would your biggest piece of advice be for other people looking to expand into other markets?
I think that there's a couple of points to say. One is just being very crystal and brutally clear where you're entering. Like this, 7 billion people in the world. We've got 5 billion in New Zealand. So there's many ways you can cut that. So it's almost being very, very ruthless and targeted in terms of which markets you're going after, which consumer groups you're going after. And then once you've identified that, really just getting deep and understanding their path to purchase, because the path to purchase for one customer group might be very different to another customer group. And you can, one of the things that I don't think we're always so aware of in New Zealand is actually how niche, but how large some of these global segments are. You can been incredibly successful in a very niche customer segment globally, which wouldn't even make an imprint here in New Zealand. So if you can be very clear who you're going after, very clear about how they go to buy, you can understand the triggers to purchase, then you can really start to build your brand around that customer group and those triggers that are getting them to buy.
Well, thanks for your time today. Thanks for sharing your knowledge with us. Look forward to putting this up on the website.